Hello, it's 11:51 a.m. Saturday, March 16, 2013. It's been a little while since I made a video on some of my accounts. Um, so I ended up going to the appeal court for my violation of the curfew in Seabright a little while ago, and I failed my appeal. Um, I panicked. I didn't really say as much as I needed or wanted to say. Um, I guess I didn't have enough. I don't know. I guess I didn't have enough courage. Maybe I don't know. So the judge ended up uh, upholding the municipal judge's uh, ruling on the fine. But I could have appealed. He told me I could appeal and I could seek a public defender, which really rattled me a little bit because when I was applying for the appeal, I was told that I was not eligible for a public defender. The whole thing is a bit um, hmm. The whole thing is set up against you in a way, or at least doesn't take into account that not everybody is a lawyer who knows everything. It's unfortunate that this is how it is. So what I decided to do, I sent an email. I went to Seabright website and I sent an email to 6 of the 7 local elected members of their government, including the mayor. And I did this about a week ago, close to about a week ago, and I didn't hear anything back from them. So what I decided to do was I wrote something. What I sent them in an email, and I'm gonna mail it to them. I wanted to do it specifically for one person who didn't have an email address listed, but now I figure I just send this, and maybe if they don't check their emails, maybe don't use it. And I am giving thought that they are extremely in panic mode and in work mode, trying to resolve all their issues. So this is what I ended up writing. I think from the get-go I should have just pled not guilty on a technicality that I was given a summons to something that does not exist. And it's too late because I pled guilty, and it would not have happened if there was an impartial judge that looks at everything beforehand for the benefit of both sides. But I don't know, because I kind of moved right now. I'm living in a new place, and I was looking through, well, organizing, throwing away stuff, and putting things in order. I had a New York ticket for something, and I was able to do it online. I was able to write out my argument online and submit it. And my argument was there was no name on a ticket that I was given to, nor did I refuse to give my name to. It was a technicality. Alright, this is what I wrote. Dear Mayor and Council, this is not right. I accidentally, mistakenly, unknowingly veered into a local street of Seabright, and now I need to pay $1,000 plus $33 court costs on top of the money already spent attempting to stand up against this travesty. I now have no civil venue for a proper redress of my grievance. Why? Although, according to Judge Vernonia at Monmouth County, I could have appealed, within 31 days and sought out a public defender, which I find strange given that when I was applying for an appeal to begin with, I was told I was not eligible for a public defender. I could take a chance and find myself a paid lawyer somehow, but then what good does that do? Damage has been done already. Seabright was damaged during a hurricane, and I feel that my rights have been trampled on, if not my civil right, my self-endowed human right to dignity. If I was in a helicopter or a plane, would I have been in violation of the curfew? I was not in the region to simply gawk. I was promoting a more positive image of the state, the nation, to another human being who is probably never going to have an opportunity to visit USA again. I did not make specific commitment to specifically go to Seabright. It was all the same from my point of view, much like it might be the same way to you that there are 70 boroughs in Bergen County. You might regard people in the region as simply Northerners. I had with me a complete stranger that I had only met through the internet that I was going out of my way for. The time I was doing this might seem strange, but the world does not end when our sunny friend goes to bed. My passenger needed to be back in Philadelphia by 9 a.m. After the small detour to the Jersey Shore, the plan was to make a visit to D.C. to visit the woman who has been protesting and living outside the White House against the military-industrial complex and world peace for 33 years. Many people know her, including every president since the time she started. The last time I found myself in this type of situation was during a winter storm, a few years back. I saw a disabled vehicle and pulled over to see if they were stuck or needed some other type of assistance. At that point, a car ended up losing control and crashed into my car. It was a double whammy because I ended up getting ripped off by the mechanic and ultimately ended up paying for the repairs out of pocket. I'm a blood donor. I'm an organ donor. In the case of my death, I was considering to run for public office in November 2013 for my district. I have a thought to serve as a governor in our state at a later stage in my life. Certainly being a U.S. Senator is just as appealing to me, assuming the state even exists at that point. Now, I should maybe elaborate on that a little bit with the writing, because in both courts, what I had to say, I mean, even in I barely said anything, but the judge said he did not find any credibility in what I had to say in my story. I don't know what to say against that. I mean, okay. I guess that it is strange for people to go out of their way for others. Would I be better off being like other people and trampling on everyone that comes in contact with me to get my way and to get as much out of people as I possibly can with no regard to how anyone is feeling or the fairness in any situation? Isn't that what a community is? People working together, helping one another. I'm sorry that people who do not live along the shore come to the beaches to pollute, consume, to take, and to create problems for their residents. But I'm not one of those people. I'm a peaceful traveler that got caught in your spider web to catch the bad people. I hope you can see this from my point of view. Something bad happened, and I was attempting to create something good out of it. I'm somewhat relieved that the age of my passenger was not brought into question. He is 19, I'm 27. No, exclamation marks. I was, I was not planning to or interested in sexual activities. This was purely humanitarian encounter. I was not doing drugs as well. We are supposed to be some kind of a team, working towards some kind of a great goal, the very least coexisting with each other in a peaceful and civil manner. I thought that I might share my issue with my Bergen County freeholders during a public session and hope that they might be inclined to assist me because I'm a resident of Wedge. The response was, "It is out of our jurisdiction." That is the very problem that I was attempting to address when I was driving another human being. No one cares enough to do the right thing anymore because it is easier to just kick the bucket, so to speak. I do not want to get in sharing you. I don't want to even get in sharing you my viewpoints on the wrongs of our federal government. I imagine at the very least that they could do is look into it and possibly write a letter on my behalf, or assist me with fighting this one with a focus on elaborating the circumstances of my violation and their curfew. It does not seem that they even care to think of that, or are simply cowards. I could have argued that as an elected member of government presiding over specific jurisdiction has a natural vested duty of the office to advocate on behalf of the constituent in the case of a civil right violation. In the case of civil right violations, the law of the land is the United States Constitution. This is a barbaric approach to deterring future violations because I'm afraid to even go down there now, although the ocean is for us to share. It is a large body of water on planet Earth. We call it the Atlantic Ocean. I do not blame the borough judge or the prosecutor or the county appeal judge or the police officer. They are all doing their job as instructed by the government. I think this is a legislative error by the mayor and council to consider and attempt to rectify. They are your agents. You are the brain behind the system. People empower you through elections and entrust you with public office to make proper and reasonable policies, rules, laws, whatever. You executed the borough curfew policy to deter bystanders from interfering with the recovery operations on behalf of the residents and property owners. You gave the police a tool to apprehend criminals in good faith that it will not be abused, as it has not been in my particular case. Still, in the process, there were some mitigating circumstances which left me in a challenging position. I do not know the particular recourse that is best to be taken, but I feel this is wrong. If you feel that this is wrong, well, you need to speak up. My only mistake is veering into your local street without any knowledge that it is a local street and that the curfew applies to moving vehicles. When I was doing my appeal, I did not consider the fact that you need to pay for the prosecutor. I'm sorry, I ended up botching up my entire appeal. I got nervous and panicked. Court is not very comforting to your freedom of expression, as well as I'm a rabbit in a lion's den. I'm sorry about the storm, but I did not cause it, nor is it fair that it gives you the right to trample on other people like this. I'm surrounded by skyscrapers. Would you have felt better if they all came down as a result of the storm? An unfair government is a treacherous and a barbaric government. Are these the principles of our government? I was thinking of some ideas while I was rattling this misunderstanding. I'm not a bad guy. Maybe these ideas are helpful, maybe not. And then some suggestions for Seabright to consider. Use police tape or cones to block off streets you don't want people to drive into. Not everybody's understanding of this thing curfew and what it entails. And not come from a family who did this type of things, as I assume most people who are understanding of this in some way are aware of it because it is a tactic to place your children on curfew for a plurality of reasons. On the back of the ticket, I saw that there is a $524 fine for public urination. Unfortunately, you might need to figure out a way to have a public restroom open late enough so the young people have a place to go to the bathroom. I'm presuming it is young drunk people who are doing this type of stuff. Not sure how often it is, but the problem might be that there is a lack of a restroom. Possibly start a special fund from the fine to do just that. After it is built, the violators who would simply be sentenced to do community service to manage the public restroom. To make sure no one does anything they are not supposed to do inside before periodic police patrol. I'm not sure why this was not done or if you wanted it, but the government did not allow it. A 2-3 soldier station on every street. I'm pretty sure we have the manpower to do this kind of thing. If it is about the money, well, then we are getting ripped off of our federal tax dollars because during these types of situations, there is not enough manpower in the police to handle all the problems that naturally surface. I presume protecting life and property from foreign invasion, domestic insurgency, or natural disaster is a natural duty of any soldier. And then, sincerely. And then, well, I kind of maybe should have put this first, but this would have been like P.S. In retrospect, it might have been best for me to say to the Seabright Borough Municipal Judge, "Hello, Your Honor. I am indeed guilty of violating your borough curfew and would like the court to consider the mitigating circumstances of my violation. I was on my way to Philadelphia to drop off a friend, but decided to make a small detour to the shoreline as there was a hurricane that has severely impacted the life of everyone. I simply wanted to drive by real quick and see with my 2 eyes what was happening, make sure the repairs are on the way. I wanted to show the beach to my friend as well. It was the only time it would have been possible because my friend was touring the United States and had a limited time to stay. I was in awe and shock when I mistakenly turned into Straight Winds Lane and did not realize that I was turning into a local residential street. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I mean, it's practically all done. I kept one because I wanted to read it. I just essentially just need to purchase stamps and ship it, mail it, because the fine is due by the end of this month. So I have 15 days to pay the fine. The prosecutor ended up looking into some of my videos, and I think I need to sit down and find out which one. I think I said something mean about him, because he brought it up, and I felt really bad. It was very, very embarrassing, because it was in court, like before court even started. It was like, hey, I looked you up on YouTube, and he was like, you said something mean about me. And no, he didn't say it to me. He was talking to a police officer, and I was like, I'm gonna make a little small trip. I'm gonna be back in a week. To back up to this thing again. I don't know. There's some symbolism though in the letters that I'm sending them. Well, these little things, they have like a beach theme to them. So for instance, one has a seashell, one has like some sort of a bird, one has, I guess, seaweed, one has sandals, one has another shell, one has another bird, one has a what is this, a light tower. No, what is that thing called? Watchtower, light tower. I need to look this up. I can't believe I can't think of this word. Something that they place. Something that we place these towers, light towers, I guess, so boats can know when there's land and not crash into anything. I think it's called a light tower. No. What's the word? Tower. I'm gonna Google this. Tower that sits by water. Water tower? No, it's not a water tower. Lighthouse. That's what it is. Lighthouse. I don't know why I used the word tower. It's a lighthouse. A tower would be more descriptive than a lighthouse. Unless that's... Let me just make sure I'm using the correct word, lighthouse. Click on images. Lighthouse. Yeah, perfect. Just making sure. Yeah, it is. It looks like it's almost like a small tower. It is a tower. It's a cool thing, though, that people do. Anyways, I need to get ready. I have a ton of messages I need to reply over the course of a few months, and I need to get back to Oliver, because now Oliver sent me some messages. I haven't been replying to him because I've been just preoccupied in my own things. Now, my friend is calling me because we have to be leaving, but everything's fine for the most part. I just have some issues to deal with, and then I don't know. Okay, adios. March 16th, Saturday, 2013.